Thank you so much, Phyllis. Good morning, everyone. I have the cure for whatever might ail you, and it's this next song. So please stand up, move your body, and get your zeal and enthusiasm sizzling. I know you're up and going now. It's nice to remember that each one of us have been born from that strength of love.
Good morning. Please join me in saying our statement of being. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. This power expresses life, love, wisdom, and abundance through me. In it I live and move and have my being. Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm Dan Pekarsky, and I just want to send out in this day of love a shout out to my birth mom, Nancy, and my sisters, Nicole and Amy, and my brother, Brett. They are a new family for me, and I just want to say that having them in my life shows me that there is always an abundance of love to be had if you choose it. And I just want to send my love out to them this morning. So, welcome to Unity of Bloomington's live streaming. Please, we extend a welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us, especially if this is your first time. And you can always find us on Sundays or anytime during the week at unityofbloomington.org, or you can also find us on Facebook and YouTube. And if you find the links on our streaming services on those platforms, it can also direct you to unityofbloomington.org, our website. And on the website, you can subscribe to our newsletter, and you can explore all of the different things that are going on at Unity. Now, we may be in COVID, but we haven't stopped. So keep joining in and finding out and getting involved and participating in every way you can. At Unity, we offer practical spiritual teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. We are a center for spiritual growth, and we provide inspiration, tools, and practices that support people on their path of spiritual growth. And these are our beliefs and principles, and I will read and you will respond. God is absolute good, everywhere present. God is. We have a spark of divinity within us, the Christ Spirit within. Our very essence is of God, and therefore we are also inherently good. I am. We create our experience of life by the activity of our thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. I create. Prayer is creative thinking that heightens the connection with God-mind and therefore brings forth wisdom, wholeness, prosperity, and everything good. I pray. Through thought, words, and action, we live the truth we know. I live. It is now time for our moment with the children. So kids, come on up to your screens, and Reverend Lynn is going to lead us in the children's moment.
Hi. Hey, I asked Dan to stick around because I need a strong man this morning. The kids' lesson that Miss Zara wrote is called Strong Together. I Can Ask for Help. And it reminded me of a wise saying that's in the Hebrew scripture in a book with a nearly unpronounceable name, Ecclesiastes. But it means the preacher. So it's a book of wise things to keep in mind. And in the 4th chapter, it talks about the importance of friends. And it says, one by themselves might be overcome, two can hold their ground, and a 3-strand cord is not easily broken. What does that mean? Well, I decided not to demonstrate that with string because I didn't think you'd be able to see it. So I decided I was going to do it with pencils. So this is a pencil. I don't know where it came from. Well, most recently it came from our supply room, but I don't know where it came from before that. And I want to show you how easy it is to break a pencil. It took a little effort for me, but I'm not a strong man. So I asked Dan to come and help me, and the rest of the folks here, unfortunately we don't have any children, but we're all kind of kids at heart. This is a dozen pencils. Now, that's a lot of help. If you're a pencil and you want help so Dan doesn't break you in half, not that Dan would ever do that, how many pencils do you think it takes? Well, we probably don't need all 12 of them, but how much help would he need? Okay, I've stumped the crowd.
How many pencils or how many pencils would it take to keep Dan from breaking?
Yeah.
Oh, 5.
How much help? Okay. So this is the pencil who's afraid of being broken, and he or she brings 4 friends to see if they can. No, okay. I don't want you to succeed.
I could.
Okay, all right. So if you have 4 friends and you ask for help from them, if you stick together, you can triumph. How about that? So, strong together. It's okay to ask for help. I can ask for help is the title of our lesson. And Miss Zara invited you to create a Valentine to give to somebody who helps you be stronger in your everyday life. So I invite you to take some time on this Valentine's Sunday to do that. And if you have somebody who can take a picture of it and send it to us, we'd love to see your thanks for helping me be strong Valentines. Thank you.
Let your spirit shine, 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 shine. Let your spirit shine, 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 shine. Let your spirit shine, 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 shine. Children of the world, let your spirit shine. Children of the world, let your spirit shine. Children of the world, let your spirit shine, 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 shine.
Thank you, Reverend Lynn. I didn't know I was get to participate in children's moment. And it's like, I can't break 5 pencils. So, well, good. So in 2021, and February in particular, our theme is strength. And our overall yearly theme of 2021 is how to stay centered no matter what. And so each month we will be exploring the role that one of the 12 powers plays in staying centered and achieving inner peace, no matter what is occurring around us. And the spiritual power of strength exists within each of us as potential to be realized. It is God's strength expressing through and as us. With it, we are steadfast and patient, able to withstand the winds of change. Outward adversity does not stop us because our power lies within. Our minds are clear and steady, and our will is firm. Spiritual strength sustains us in moments of uncertainty as we draw from a deep well of courage within. Repeated challenges are an invitation to renew ourselves and stand firm, which enables us to be re-energized and continue undaunted. Fearless and focused, we own what is ours to do and prepare to act. Boldness and tenacity propel us through obstacles with enduring strength, and we persevere, remaining hopeful. We may falter, but we never fail. For divine power within us is our endless source. We are one with strength and vitality of spirit, stable, courageous, and tenacious. Divine strength is who we are. So please join me in claiming this truth as our own. Together, I express the strength and vitality of God by standing firm in love and courage. So we have a couple of announcements. And one of our announcements is, don't forget about after the service, our Unity Cafe. It's virtual. So grab a cup of coffee and log on to the Zoom and connect with other Unity folks and say hello and just chat. And I know there's a good, solid group of people who participate in that every week. So jump in and say hi to friends who maybe you haven't seen in a while, especially on Valentine's Day. You can tell everybody how much you love them. So the daily word. And the word for today is heart expression. And the affirmation is, "You are dear to me. I hold you in my heart." Sharing love is a wonderful way of discovering and responding to the divinity alive in every heart, binding us as a human family. My loving nature helps me see the best in every person whose life touches mine. Today, I remember one of the legends of St. Valentine, in which he fashioned pieces of parchment into hearts, which he gave to others as token of his compassion and God's love. Today, the tradition continues when I say, "You are dear to me, and I hold you in my heart," with a card, gift, call, or a simple act of kindness. I share love with no expectation of reciprocation, and my heart welcomes every expression of love from others. Love's energy grows through both giving and receiving. And from John 13, verse 34, "I give you a new commandment, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also should love one another." So let's repeat the affirmation together. You are dear to me. I hold you in my heart. And say that again to yourself silently. You are dear to me. I hold you in my heart. Let's not forget that. Our message today is going to be provided by our spiritual ministry co-coordinator, Reverend Lynette Carlson, and our musical inspiration team will be providing our Unity music. And Phyllis and Ginger and Penny and Betsy. Oh, and me too. Hang on.
You might win a battle, you could win a race, you could outrun your rival, come in first place. You could lose your center in the push and the shove, or simply surrender, tune into love. Love's not a contest, it's just who we are. Both the light and the shadow are at home in the heart. Beyond the struggle, to play. If we could just quit fighting and learn how to pray. Love wins. Love wins. All is well in the end. Love wins. Love wins. Oh, love wins. Love wins. All is well in the end. Love wins. Love knows no boundaries. It's the light in our eyes, familiar to all, universally prized. There's a world of compassion, and we're good to begin. We could just quit fighting and let love win. Love wins, oh, love wins. Love is gonna win. All is well in the end. Love wins. Yes, love wins. Love wins. Oh, all is well in the end. Love wins. When we're up against too much to ask, when we lose our resistance at last, when we realize love's got our back, love wins. For everyone, great or small, we are lifted as we fall. Kindness conquers all. Love wins. Love wins. Love wins. Love wins. All is well in the end. Love wins. Love's gonna win. Love wins. Love will always win. All is well in the end. Love wins. New life begins. Love wins.
Beautiful. Thank you. Love wins. Reminds me of the quote. Gosh, and I've looked it up repeatedly and can't remember now where it first came from. I think one of the Beatles said it. It'll all be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. So keep that in mind. Strength to love. I am really enjoying looking at strength this month. That sounds a little silly when I hear it, but it's the truth. And what I'm really surprised about is that I know that we have spent a month on strength at least twice before, haven't we, Ginger? Yeah. Well, you know, it's one of the most varied and valuable tools in our spiritual toolbox. So it warrants revisiting, and I am certainly understanding the power of strength much more deeply this time around. So I guess that's one of the reasons we return to these lessons, because the context in the world and in our own lives changes, and so the tools shift in their importance and their meaning to us. So I do not remember previously, when we've studied strength, coming across the verse in Corinthians 16:13. Paul, at the end of his first letter to the Corinthians, does this benediction, and basically it's like what your parents tell you before you leave the house. Now, don't forget, turn your phone off, wear your seatbelt, look both ways before you turn left, that. So Paul's kind of got his laundry list of those things. And one of them is, or one chunk of them, says, stay alert, stand firm in your faith, be courageous, be strong, and let all that you do be done in love. Wow, that's a mouthful. Be alert, unwavering, brave, strong, and loving. Paul's words call us to have the strength to love. Well, I don't remember if I've ever had the privilege of delivering a message on Valentine's Day before, but it's delightful. And the theme is strength. The focus on Valentine's Day is love, so I thought strength to love. And I didn't invent that pairing, but when I thought of it, I knew somebody who had used it. There was a slim volume that was published in 1963 that was a compilation of 15 different messages that Martin Luther King Jr. had preached prior to that. And he actually, according to the King Institute, he got to spend 2 weeks in jail with Ralph Abernathy in either late 62 or early 63, and it gave him time to work on his book. So he put together this compilation. And I want to admit right up front that even though this message is inspired in part by Valentine's Day, the love that we're talking about this morning does not refer to the Valentine-y paper hearts and flowers type of love. That's sentimental love. And it's great. I love sentimental love. I'm a little sentimental myself, although not as much as some people. However, for the next few minutes, I want to invite you to think in terms of love thy neighbor love. And greater love hath no one than this, that they lay down their life for a friend. That's the kind of love I want us to focus on. It's the kind of love that calls us to come up higher and be more than we imagined we could be. Well, the first chapter in Dr. King's book, Strength to Love, is titled A Tough Mind and a Tender Heart. A tough mind expresses the power of strength, whereas a tender heart points us to the seat of the power of love. Ginger Curry shared a new book last week, Adventures in Resilience. As an aside, I want to mention that it was written by a Unity minister, Sharon Connors, and she performed Terry Snow and Melanie Roby's wedding, their first wedding, about 20 years ago in California. Connor's book is subtitled, Ignite the 12 Powers in You to Create a Radiant Life. And it describes how the 12 powers, first organized by co-founder of Unity, Charles Fillmore. She explains how to activate, that the 12 powers can activate to ignite the spark of divinity within you to its fullest expression. Oh, I think that sounds great. Sign me up. And I'm going to share some quotes from the chapter on strength in Connor's book. And please forgive me if I repeat some of them that Ginger used last week. I figured that if I couldn't remember which ones were repeats, maybe you couldn't either. The first point Connors makes in her chapter exploring this power of strength is that it sustains us in adversity and challenge and enables us to learn who we really are. I agree completely with Ginger's point last week that in order to stand firm in our beliefs, we must first become clear about our values and what it is that we believe. This is part of the process of learning who we really are. And Dr. King echoes this in his writings as well. Tough-mindedness is being realistic, clear thinking, and exercising good judgment. It's being honest with ourselves and others and learning to discern fact from fiction. That used to be easier than it has been more lately. On the other hand, Dr. King, keeping in mind that he wrote this almost 70 years ago, soft-minded people are gullible, superstitious, and they fear change and new ideas. Their position is reflected in what I learned years ago were the 7 last words of the church. But we've always done it this way. King preached that dictators often use soft-mindedness to control masses of people with shrewd lies. Soft-minded folks prejudge and are therefore prejudiced. King believed that race prejudice is based on groundless fears, misunderstandings, and suspicions. Only the strength to love can overcome those obstacles. Well, all of our 12 powers are built in. I guess we would say if we were a car that they're standard equipment. And they're neutral. They can be used in both positive and negative ways. But as truth seekers and Unity students, we have the advantage of knowing these powers in the context of our inherent goodness and the knowledge that we contain the very essence of divinity within us. So what we value and believe is up to us, but there is definitely a bias toward the most positive, divine version of those values. And it's in that verse that I started with. Let all that you do be done in love. Because it is possible to utilize our power of strength in less than noble pursuits. Dr. King's sermon honed in on 2 of them. Racial prejudice on the part of white Americans and the enmity for whites on the part of blacks and people of color. This is what he called soft-minded. We might characterize it as a misuse of the power of strength. It certainly falls short of the standard to let all we do be done in love. Because we each embody the divine and express it through our individuality. I believe that when we are acting from the truth of our being, we will express divine attributes. Racial prejudice, hatred of the oppressor, guarding white privilege, or promoting white supremacy are antithetical to the oneness we proclaim and the love that is who we are. As I was pulling this message together and reflecting on this point, I thought about a song from the Broadway musical South Pacific. It was written in 1949, right after World War II. And it's the story of an American nurse from Arkansas who is stationed on a South Pacific island during World War II. She falls in love with a middle-aged French plantation owner who has mixed-race children that she is not sure she can accept. There's also a subplot about Caleb, a Marine who falls for a local island girl. The plantation owner agonizes over his lover's prejudice to the Marine, saying he doesn't believe that people are born with that kind of hatred in them. And Caleb sings this song to explain it. And I am not going to sing it. I'm going to read the poetry that undergirds it. But feel free to look it up on YouTube. The title is You Have to Be Carefully Taught. You've got to be taught to hate and fear. You've got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are oddly made and people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught before it's too late, before you are 6 or 7 or 8, to hate all the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught. Reverend Connors writes that strength empowers us to rise above any difficulty or personal upset to do the most loving, effective thing. It is the power to tell the truth when it might cost us. It is the power to acknowledge a mistake or fault rather than make an excuse, defend, or justify. I believe that is also the power of strength that enables us to rise above the fear that may have been instilled in us, as described in this song. Dr. King was famous for his firm stand on nonviolent resistance to address social problems. The King Institute of Stanford University asserts that this was based on King's vision of love as a potent social and political force for change, the efficacy of religious faith in surmounting evil, and the vital need for true human integration, or as he defined it, genuine intergroup and interpersonal living. It took his deep roots in the divine for Dr. King to have the strength to challenge racial prejudice in the first half of the 20th century. He was certainly tough-minded. But he cautioned against being tough-minded and hard-hearted. He writes, "Tough-mindedness without tender-heartedness is cold and detached. The hard-hearted person never truly loves. He or she engages in a crass utilitarianism that values other people mainly according to their usefulness to the hard-hearted person. They lack the capacity for genuine compassion. They see people as objects and depersonalize life. It isn't easy to be tough and tender simultaneously. But that is the delicate balance to which Dr. King insists that the divine calls us. Strength is not about looking tough, or never being afraid, or not caring about others. Strength is the divine presence living as strength in us, as Reverend Connors writes. Spiritual strength is a power that can trump fear and empower you to take right action in the face of fear, loss, anger, rejection, disappointment, delay, and disapproval. It partners with faith to sustain us on our odyssey to discover and live from the kingdom of heaven within us. It grows with our intentional spiritual development, and it rises from noble values and ideals and a passion for what is possible. Spiritual strength empowers us to dare something for the sake of love. Connors writes, the more we grow our strength by walking through our fears, the more we grow a bigger conception of God and a bigger life. I marveled this week as I studied the power of strength, studied Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s sermon, and simultaneously watched the impeachment hearing on television. I could hardly believe the synchronicity that brought these three things together at such a powerful moment in my life and in the life of our country. But the words, again, with which I began were the perfect backdrop against which to watch the proceedings, especially the repeated viewings of the rioters who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. Stay alert, stand firm, be strong, be courageous. Let all that you do be done in love. Strength does not mean being the loudest or the meanest. Not the kind of strength we're talking about. Dr. King preached that the only way to succeed in the struggle against racial injustice is to strive for the highest love of all, to love God and your fellow men and women equally. If it is done right, this does not drag your love of God down to the level of human love. Instead, it elevates human love to the love of the divine. When we can achieve this, we can truly be powerful because we have achieved the strength of character to surmount any barrier. It's only when we love other people as we love God that we will accept their faults and forgive them their actions. If we can do this, then King says we can change their minds about the sources of their fear and their hate. When they realize that we have strength to love them, they can be inspired to activate those same potentials within themselves. So, let us all commit to embody the strength to love. And now, our music team will lead us as we prepare for meditation.
I am saved.
and focus your attention on your breath. Let that attention drop from your head to your heart, the seat of the power of love. Now take another deep belly breath and focus on the area just below your navel. This is the seat of the power of strength. Continue to breathe normally and feel that connection in your body from the center of strength to the center of love behind your heart. You are strength, the strength of source energy in expression. But you are not strong like a rock. You are not static, solid, or unmovable. No, you are strong like a blade of grass or little seedling of a tree. The seed falls into the crack in the rock, and then it grows. You are that little seedling, and you first pierce the hard shell of the seed, and then you immediately begin to move upward in search of the sun's nourishment. And at the same time, you send roots down deep into the earth. You may start out as tiny and fragile, but you stand firm, finding the smallest crack in the rock as you reach upward. You use your strength to grow. You are confident, unafraid, courageous. Your love for the earth that supports you and for the sun that beckons you keep you moving, and you grow and flourish and make a place for yourself even in the midst of the rock. Strength lifts you higher and farther than you ever imagined. And as you continue to grow through the years, your persistence may very well break the rock. Because you are the strength of God in expression, just to be. And we rest in this truth now in the silence.
We turn now to the spiritual practice of generosity. We are grateful for the many ways this center supports us in our spiritual growth. And we, in turn, are happy to support the center with our financial contributions and our voluntary service. We're also grateful for all of you who have already put into place the automatic weekly, quarterly, or monthly giving. And today, if you feel led to give, please visit our website, unityofbloomington.org, and click the giving link. You can also place a check in the mail. Our mailing address is 4001 South Rogers Street, Bloomington, Indiana. Zip code is 47403. So now I invite you to place your hands over your heart as we say our abundance affirmation. Together, I am an abundant being, living in an abundant universe. God is the source of my supply. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best. I give my best, and I now attract the best in every experience.
Peace for my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Let's bless the offering received with these words. Together, divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I would like to invite our prayer partners this week, Ginger Curry, to close our service.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have a prayer request that you would like for me to hold with you, or if you have a celebration you'd like to share and I'll celebrate with you, please feel free to reach out to me at gingercurry@gmail.com, and I'd be honored to do that. We're ending our service today with a prayer reminding us that we have within us all that we need to accomplish all that we are called to accomplish. And so say this prayer with me. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now please join us in singing, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Have a blessed week. Namaste.
Anything to recycle, I'll recycle.